Hello, everyone, and welcome to the February 2nd, 2025 broadcast of Mother Mary's Messages. My name's Samara Grace, and I'm so excited and happy to have you join either on the call right now or later on. It's a crazy time in the world, and for those of us that are working very diligently to stay in balance and to bring love and light to whatever situations we're engaged in, it's always nice to know that there's more of us. And as more of us gather and offer help, support, love, good wishes to each other, and then send it out, I think we can calm some of the storms down in the world, because there's certainly a lot of those. And I think some of the recent tragedies and the airplane crashes and all of that, it's heartbreaking. The fires, heartbreaking. And so as humans, it's like, well, what can I do? Some of us can, send money. They had a wonderful fire aid concert, which was just astonishing how many wonderful stars came together and, raised a lot of money for the victims of the fire. And so I think tonight, Mother Mary is going to talk about how do we stay balanced within ourselves, but also have enough bandwidth to be able to share and help each other. So you'll see me close my eyes for just a moment, and I'll bring Mother Mary through, and we'll see what wisdom she can offer, because it's always a message of love and a message sometimes of action. So without further ado. Well, hello to all my beloveds, all my light workers. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for all the work you've already done. It is appreciated, it is noticed, it is seen. And I wish I could say we don't need it anymore, but that's not the case. It's just not the case. There are so many challenges happening all at once, all over the world, because the main word I want you to think about is authority. Authority. And I'm going to talk for a moment about the outer authorities, right? Political people, firemen, policemen, the people who pick up your trash, authority, all of the systems that are in place right now, right? And by the same token, those systems, in many cases, both here in the United States, Canada, and others, have failed to provide the citizens with what would be comfortable for them. And so there's been a lot of just disturbing ideas about what would be good and what wouldn't be good and who should do it and what can we do and this and that. And that's unfolding. So my message to you is not to look to the outer authority to guide you, but to find that inner authority, which is your connection with your higher self, with spirit, with God, with the angels, however you want to put it, that authority. Because in this time, if you're only living from reaction, if you're only living from what's already happening or about to happen or what you think might happen, you're really limiting your capabilities, limiting your bandwidth, if you will, to a very, very small amount. And in this time that we're in, there's enough things to respond to that it could keep you busy from morning till night, and then you lie down exhausted in your bed and you can't go to sleep because other things keep going through your mind. That's not working. So this time that we're in of 2025 is about really not only awakening your inner authority, expanding your inner authority, taking loving care of your inner authority, but also activating it in the world. And I'll talk about that in just a moment. So authority. So again, what I'm asking you to do is, instead of looking at the news or however you're getting your information and saying, oh goodness, this one's doing this or this one's doing that, and what will that mean? And what will happen to you then is your capability is all about fear of the future. And so there you are, trying to manage some things that haven't happened yet, some things that have happened but maybe haven't directly affected you. And so it's ineffective. So your authority lives inside of you. It is your higher self. It is your heart and mind joined as one. And when you activate that through meditation and all the various means that all of you know so well, you will get guidance about what is yours to do. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, Mother Teresa put it interestingly to her sisters and to all that were around her. She said, find your Calcutta. Find your Calcutta. Now, that's a pretty big job when you think about it. But what she was really trying to say is that was her mission. And of course, she was an extraordinary force in that mission. But what is your Calcutta? Is it collecting food for the homeless? Is it helping the animals that were made homeless through the fires? Is it writing? Is it teaching? Is it loving your children and grandchildren? You know, there's lots of different Calcuttas. But the point that she was making, both Mother Teresa and I, is that everyone has the capacity to find their Calcutta. And that's really the outward mission that will allow you to sustain the energy that you're bringing in. Because to bring it in is wonderful. To have that spiritual authority is wonderful. But if you lie on the sofa and never do anything, it's kind of a waste. It's kind of a waste. And so you're here really to be part of this new generation of change. And it doesn't matter how old you are. I'm talking about a generation of change in which the people begin to realize, just like in the Wizard of Oz, they had the power all along. They had the power all along. And so you have the power within you to express through your heart, mind, and soul whatever is your Calcutta. And when you start to do that, what begins to happen, it's like the same idea that you saw when the firemen couldn't reach the fire and they developed a bucket brigade. And so they would take the water, the one to the next, and take the bucket and take it down and take it down and take it down to be able to put out the fire. Each of the actions you take, oh, Debbie was asking, what is Calcutta? Calcutta is the city in India where Mother Teresa began her work. So if you think of this group that is gathered right here as a kind of spiritual bucket brigade, which I think of you that way, it's like you have to fill your bucket, which is your source energy, your love, your compassion, your light, however you want to put it, and then make it part of an effort to alleviate suffering. It's as simple as that. Alleviate suffering or bring joy, either one. Sometimes suffering is what calls you, and sometimes it's really just to be a bringer of joy, which does alleviate suffering. So in these times that we're in, the greatest gift you can do is to pull back from worrying about who's in charge of what in the world, in the political scene, and say, I now open to my inner authority, to the authority of my essence, to my capacity to be an agent for change. And I'm now willing to put that into action. Oh my goodness, yes. And to think of it like this beautiful bucket brigade of each and every one of you and all the thousands and thousands of light workers around the world right now who are feeling overwhelmed, who are feeling like, they just don't even know what to do next. So if you've started some sort of action, you've taken that bucket somewhere, it's inspiring to people. And they say, oh, I've got some extra food. If that's what you're doing, let me bring it, etc., etc. So this is a time when you will either be guided by faith or fear. It's that simple. And so don't fear whatever they're all doing out there. What they're doing is they're being the authority that they want to be. So if you don't like that authority, if you don't like the outcomes that you're seeing. The question really is, what will you choose instead? What would you like to do instead to be that bringer of light, that bringer of love, that bringer of something else? This is going to play out all of this year. I wish I could say it's not. But you see, you can either sit and worry about it and moan about it and react to it, or you can say, all right, that's the movie that's going on right now. But I'm gonna direct my own movie. I'm gonna direct my own movie. And so I'm gonna choose to look out and find my Calcutta, my little piece of the world that could use a little extra love. And at the moment, it's also really lovely to not ask the question, will this make me famous? Will I make a lot of money? Will I have a lot of likes on my Facebook page? It's not a time for that. It's a time to do it, as Mother Teresa had another wonderful quote. She said, do it anyway. You know, you'll build something and people will tear it down. Build it anyway. And so it's like taking back your power, your authority, allows you to write your story of the next few years, how you chose to live, what you chose to do, how you brought love and compassion and friendship and joy wherever you decided to bring it. And it will take you and elevate you into a frequency where you will find peace, you will find comfort, you will find each other, and you will find people who are so grateful for that which you have brought to them. And it doesn't matter if they have a different political point of view, different religious point of view, different ethnic point of view. That has to go away. That has to go away. You're all the children of God. So all of that divisiveness can be remedied by your bucket brigade, by your willingness to be there, to be the agents of change and light and love. And in the beginning, as I said, you may take the first few steps by yourself. You may feel like, well, no one's doing this, so I'm just going to do it anyway. But as soon as you start that, the inertia that is felt by so many good-hearted people has a little glimmer of light that enters that inertia and says, wow, look what so-and-so's doing. Huh. And whenever you come out of inertia, there's a burst of energy. There's a burst of possibility. And those who are suffering right now with depression and inertia and overwhelm and all of that, you can be their little glimmer of light, their little ice bucket challenge, and bring them out of what they're experiencing without really saying much of anything that would be considered counseling. If you do that too, that's fine. But it's like taking those actions. If you get up in the morning and you do your morning meditation and your morning exercise, whatever that happens to be, and then you just say, let me be a blessing today. Show me where I can bless someone or something. Believe me, there's no shortage. There's no shortage. But it's taking yourself out of, is it a big enough project? How will it end up? Will it be this or that? That has to go away. Because what you're doing is you're building a very different system of exchange. A very different system of exchange. Right now, most of the world operates on dollars per hour or project or whatever, and that'll go on for a while. But the real system that can bind people together in a community of caring and change is what I'm speaking about. Bringing whatever you have to bring to someone who really in that moment would benefit. And from that, you'll be amazed what can occur. One of the funny things that Samara was reminded about, her nephew is in Sedona right now, where many of you have been, visiting Rachel's Knoll. And I know some of you have been there. It's a lovely, lovely place. And it's a place that was put in a special kind of deed in perpetuity for anyone to go and be and enjoy. Meanwhile, the developers gobbled up all the land around it and built gorgeous big houses and this and that. But it's kind of like you can still go there. I think they've got a $2 admission or something to sort of pay for the guard or slow people down or whatever. But you get up there and it's a knoll, so it's on the top of this, not a mountain exactly, but a hill, looking out over what used to be the land of the indigenous peoples that now has some of these houses and a golf course. But the energy of her love, the energy of her determination, that this should be something always to be enjoyed by anyone who got there, is the kind of thing I'm talking about. And yes, she went through all sorts of things and all of that. Your legacy can be something else, but it can be like Rachel's Knoll. And it took a lot of buckets to fill that one up. So in these times ahead, what's happening is the structure of power that for centuries and centuries has been held sort of at the top of the heap, if you will. And sometimes good, sometimes bad, sometimes in between, doesn't matter. That can't hold. It can't hold. Because this is the time of awakening. Some would call it the time of ascension. But it is a time in your history and in your evolution when you are being invited to step up into your own powerful authority, to live as you're meant to live, and to make a difference in the world in whatever way feels right to you. In the world right now, it's challenging. It's challenging to see people in hunger. It's challenging to see people who've lost their homes. It's challenging to see people struggling and struggling and struggling. And many in the past have looked to the government for help. And sometimes it did, and sometimes it didn't. But I'm telling you, in the next decade, it will be all about the people. The people. And so align yourself with your highest truth, align yourself with your highest good, and align yourself with your own authority as given to you as a sovereign son or daughter of God. So it is not authority over anyone else. It is your power to be, your power to love, your power to live, and your power to cherish and share in whatever ways are right for you. So I'm going to give you just a little assignment. I know so many of you like my assignments. It's like, okay, I need something to do. And that is whether it's at the end of this call tonight or tomorrow or the next couple of days, find your Calcutta, at least for now. And I know some of you will be like, oh, I can't decide. I could do this, I could do this. Please choose one, whatever it is. It might be the homeless shelter or the food bank or the VA center or whatever it is. Just choose one and go. Bring something that would be valuable. Choose one and go. And what you will find on the way that you're driving or taking a bus or however you're going there, an alignment. And this is the part I wish I could just imprint upon you. The alignment of your spiritual, mental, etheric emotional body shifts into a higher frequency. It shifts into a higher frequency because you are literally doing what your soul has asked you to do. And you're doing it in the world in a way that that you've noticed the world really is asking. And so as you do that and smile and think about it, the second thing, after you've done it and you come home and you smile and feel good about it, tell at least one other person, because this is what begins the bucket brigade. And you're not telling them to puff yourself up and, oh, don't I feel good? You're saying whatever is in your heart to say. You're saying, I just felt compelled today to collect cans and take them down to the food bank. And when I got there, the big smiles that I saw just lifted my heart. That's all you have to say. But now what you've done is you've multiplied that energetic boost that you just got and invited the next person to feel it if they can, if they choose, etc. And number 3, we just always have 1, 2, 3. The third thing is take out your journal or a place where you're writing things down. Put the date on which you did that, and put the deed and any feelings that you had about it. Because again, what you're doing is you are making manifest. You are manifesting, making real. You are consecrating the energy of your love into the world in a way that is beneficial. 3 simple things. Choose one, do something, share it, write it. You'll be amazed. Because when you think about the great ones out there, the Dalai Lama, people like that, and how happy they are no matter what's happening, this is the fuel that they're running on. They get up and they do their meditation, their morning walk, whatever. And then they consecrate everything to be a blessing, to offer light and laughter and joy, comfort, etc., etc. And so in these days to come, I'll be curious to hear about your 1, 2, 3. Perhaps if you come back on March 3rd, you can share some of what you've decided to do. But this is, again, I guess we're just kind of bringing Mother Teresa into our group tonight. She said one time, prayer without action is no prayer at all. And so by praying, connecting with your higher self, choosing something, doing it, and sharing it, you're living the kind of life that she did in your way. You found, at least in the beginning, your first Calcutta. You can change later on if something else is more appealing. But it's the inertia that is so rampant right now that's causing the depression and all of the reactions and all the hatred, vitriol, etc., being passed back and forth. And so what that does is it just creates a kind of a swamp atmosphere for everyone. And no one wants to get out of bed. So all of you have that capacity to just, as I've said before, go up, then in, then out. So when you go up, just say, I'm choosing to be the light I came to be. And so today, where should I bring my bucket of light? And then you go, and then you share it, and you jot some things down, and you say, okay, okay, okay. And now that will be the main information that lives in you, rather than whatever just happened on the news. So that's my advice for everyone. I certainly hope you take me up on it. And I can't wait to hear back from you about what has occurred. One of the wonderful folks on the video asked if we could do our prayer on the video with me and then we'll close the video and then I'll be chatting with everyone who's here. So we're going to do that today. So everyone who's ready, just imagine, see the light bringers, the light brigade, the bucket brigade that you can be a part of, bringing hope, comfort, and possibilities to all who are currently going through some difficulties. So we send out this light of love. We send out the manna and the water of light. We touch each and every soul with our love, to know that they are not alone, that there are angels with them and guides, and that we feel and love them. To all those in hospitals, to all of those who are hungry, to all of those who live in worry, to all of those who live with the pain of addiction, and to their families. We offer the light of love and the balm of forgiveness. For we are with you. We are with you. We are with you. Namaste. So I'm going to end the recording tonight, but just know you are deeply loved. You are not alone. And there's a bucket brigade and a bucket waiting for you. Much love.